Hi, sixth graders. This is your Anne Frank exhibit project video. This is the first of its kind. You guys are the first class that I've read Anne Frank with. And I am so sorry that we can't finish it together in a class. But I do hope that you have enjoyed reading it as much as I have. I am truly humbled daily as I read of her bravery, her poise, her positivity in light of what she's going through, and her ability to effectively describe the world around her. She's an amazing and descriptive writer. As we finish the diary, I would like to create an exhibit in the memory of those who were persecuted and those who bravely put their lives on the line to save them, but I need your help. It's my hope that each of you will make a contribution. Any other year, this would be a required project, but in light of our circumstances, this will be optional, but strongly encouraged, and you will earn extra credit for this project. There are 9 options to choose from, so hopefully you can find one that works for you. Some are easier than others. But if you can think of another addition to our exhibit, just let me know. I hope this book has made a lasting impression on you, especially during our seclusion at the moment. And I pray that you will remember what Philippians 4:4-7 says. Always be full of joy in the Lord. I say it again, rejoice. Let everyone see that you are considerate in all you do. Remember, the Lord is coming soon. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. So I'm going to show you the different options that you can do. And again, the whole thing's optional. I don't want anyone to be stressed out or to feel they have to do more than they can. But I would like to offer this to you. So your first option is to write a play. You can choose a scene from the book and then expand on it. I recommend using those smiley face tricks where you can. You can choose to write this with a friend or a group, and you can even act it out with your group on a Zoom meeting. But that part is definitely optional. So here are some examples that you can use that just came to my mind. Anne's 13th birthday, the very beginning of the diary. The day they go into hiding is very memorable. The day the Van Dons arrived. The dinner scene with Anne and Mrs. Van Don with the vegetables versus potatoes. Could be the Easter burglary that we read last week, or just a regular day in the annex, or the day they get arrested, so that you could write a play. The next option is a picture gallery. I think this might be the easiest. You can choose 5 objects or more, or even less, just let me know, that stand out to you from the diary. And using your best effort, draw and color the pictures. Label them and describe their importance. For example, if you were to choose a rotten potato, that's important because there's a scene in the story where she's joking about how they're having to kind of do surgery on the potatoes to cut off all the rotting parts just so they can have a small bit of the good potato. So as long as you can describe it and why it's important, you can draw it. I'll even accept digital pictures if you draw it digitally or if you get the pictures from online, as long as they stand out to you and they're actual symbols from the story and you'd label them and describe them. I suggest putting them in a PowerPoint, but you can take pictures of the hard copies like you do with all your other work. And you can even do this with a friend. You can decide maybe three pictures get done by one person, 3 get done by another, or however you want to split the math, 2 and 3 or however. Here are some examples. I'll just read a couple. Beans, the radio, the Christmas cake, the bookcase. We had a student do because this was actually a journal entry for you guys a few weeks ago where you had to just draw one symbol and only one person did the bookcase. It was really neat. It was a full page picture in color of the bookcase. So if he decides to do this for his exhibit, I'll let him use that picture in it. So these are just some examples, and if you can think of more symbols to draw, that's fine. You can also write a story or a narrative. and again, you're going to do it from the time period of World War II. Can be first person point of view or third person point of view. Some ideas. You can write from the perspective of somebody who goes into hiding, and they hide the entire time, or maybe they're found and arrested and sent to a concentration camp. Or you can be a German or Dutch person who does not obviously get taken, but this person could be someone who's hiding Jews. It kind of makes me think of Corrie ten Boom. Her family hid them in their house. You can research her to get some ideas. Or you could even be a German soldier. Some of the German soldiers even helped the Jews or begrudgingly followed Hitler's commands, but not all the way. So you have some creativity there. Or if you even wanted to write it from the perspective of an American who's hearing all these stories of what's going on and wants to do something but doesn't know what to do, and then you can mention when we finally get involved in the war after Pearl Harbor. You can write this with a friend, and illustrations are encouraged. I do hope some of you guys do this. Exciting to read it. This one's probably the hardest. It takes some research. You can make a newspaper front page. If you guys can imagine the front pages that I had in my classroom that I purchased from the Holocaust Museum, you would research the time period and choose one of the events from the Anne Frank timeline at the website. Any of the ones that we wrote about or we drew pictures of on the board in the classroom or our bulletin board. For example, if you did Pearl Harbor or Kristallnacht, you would write the main article about that event and you research it and you write about it. But a front page has other stories, so you need other stories from that time period, including what's going on with the Jews at the moment. Are they still being persecuted? Have they been taken into concentration camps? You can look up the year and see if Jews were already starting to be taken at that point and from what countries, because the Germans kept very, very detailed records. I will provide you with the newspaper template. You can even add pictures from the time period. That would be super easy. And this can be done with a friend. You guys can email it back and forth and add your contribution. So I really hope someone does this one too. Honestly, if we were still in school, this would just be a class project for everybody, or each team would do one. But we don't have that luxury this year. Or you can just do a timeline. And this would be a timeline from 10 key events from Anne Frank's life. I think it's easier than it sounds. The first event would obviously be when she was born. And you could end with her death, or you could end with the time when the diary was actually published, because her memory goes on after she died. Her story continues. So you could easily come up with 10 key events in her life, because things even keep happening to her after she had died. You would add descriptions and pictures of what you can from her life. You can use annefrank.org. It has a timeline of her life, and this can be done with a friend. So this would be very easy to do. You can do it in a PowerPoint. Each slide would be an event. You can write it out. You can do a hard copy, whatever you like to do. There were other people in hiding. The Franks and the Von Dahns kind of get the spotlight. Really, Anne Frank. Everybody knows who she is. But there were many other Jews in hiding, and that was made possible by brave people in many European countries, and their stories are out there. I think I told you guys in the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., there's an entire wall, probably the length of 2 of our classrooms, both sides, covered with names from people in the different countries that hid Jews. I was flabbergasted when I saw that. I had no idea that many people were hiding Jews. Now, of course, some of them were found, and they went to camps and were killed, but that many people were putting their lives on the line to save the Jews. So, you can research them, or you can contact me. I have a book on the subject, so I can give you some of the names to look up, or even just send you a copy of the information. You can choose to write about one, or you can do several. It can be a Word document, or you can make a PowerPoint. This really shouldn't take too much effort, especially if I'm just giving you the stories that I have. Just read about them, put them in your own words, and share it with us. And this can be done with a friend if you would like. This next one I was really excited about when I first thought about it. You can build the secret annex using the diagram from the book or from annefrank.org. They have great 3D visualizations of the annex. You can create it or any part of it. You can use Legos or any other building materials at home. I would even accept drawings of it as long as it's your best effort and you've put some thought into it. Or you can choose to just do a reflection. This would be a couple of paragraphs where you tell me what you've learned about the Diary of Anne Frank. What stands out to you? What parts you'll never forget? Why is it meaningful to you? You can even write it as a letter to Anne, telling her that her words have survived her, that she is one of the most famous writers of all time, and that her words have been read by millions of children worldwide. You can add final thoughts or wishes that you have regarding the book. We all wish that they were never found, that nobody ever turned them in, that she never had to suffer the indignities and the atrocities at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. That we hope that that never happened to her, but we know that it did. So you're able to write a reflection in that vein. And any additional thoughts, if there's scripture you'd want to add to your reflection, that would be amazing. I wanted to end with a quote from her. She has many, many great insightful quotes on life and writing and just humanity, but I really liked this one. Everyone has inside of him a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. Her never-ending optimism is so refreshing, and I think it's what got her through those 2 tough years, being shut up, alone, no friends, no school. We're suffering now. I know we feel it just being away from each other right now and just kind of getting a small taste of what she went through every single day for 2 years. So I'm hoping to share your additions to the entire 6th grade, to parents, maybe to the whole school. I would like this to be a tradition that each 6th grade participates in, and this is a brand new tradition. And I'm hoping to show what you guys did for the students for next year. Now again, this is optional. You will receive a large amount of extra credit for it. And again, the harder it is, the more extra credit, the easier it is. You won't get as much. But I do want your best effort. If you want to do more than one, you can. I will accept this all the way up until the end of the school year this year, which is May 29th. I would like them sooner than that so I can put it together, but you have over a month to work on it. And this would just be a great way for us to honor the memories of those who went through the Holocaust. So if you have any questions, let me know. Be thinking this week of what you might want to do. And I cannot wait to see what you guys create.